The regular season is now over, and it's now time for the playoffs. Now, of course, January 3rd, which of course was the last day of the regular season, marked the 20th anniversary of the comeback. That is right. Because on January 3rd, 1993, Buffalo Bills came back from a 32-point deficit and win it in overtime. Of course, I've had this for a very long time, and I think you can get it on eBay. I don't think it's available anymore, but of course, the 28th anniversary. I hope I'm clarifying that for you guys. Was of course the final day of the regular season for football for the 2020-2021 season. And of course, I forgot to show this when I talked about the Bills the last time. I actually got this. This is what I wanted to show, but I didn't have it at the time, so I didn't show that. Wow, what a day, I should say. I don't think I've ever seen a game in which the Buffalo Bills scored 50 or so points in a regular season game and win the game. They of course swamped the Miami Dolphins 56-26. Man, oh man, there was a lot of highlights from the game that were quite surprising. I thought this was going to be a competitive game, but the way Miami played was terrible. Now it was competitive at the beginning of the game, but then Buffalo just whomped the Miami Dolphins after that, and Miami did not do as good as I thought they would do. They actually got walloped after, I think, when Buffalo scored a touchdown and kept on scoring touchdowns. It just got to be a mismatch. So what actually happened was Buffalo Bills kind of rested their starters, but not in the first half. They had, of course, Josh Allen, and the first drive, he threw an interception, and it was originally called incomplete, but after a review, it was switched to an interception. That was Josh Allen's only interception of the game. After that, he went right to it, and he did pretty well. And he scored 3 touchdowns in the first half. And the 3 touchdowns that he threw it to, 2 were that he threw it to were one was McKenzie. He threw it twice to McKenzie and once to I can't think of his name. I can't think of his name. I think it was John Brown that I think of it. And John Brown was coming back from numerous injuries. I know that Stefon Diggs did not have a touchdown game this particular final game. I knew that he had quite a bit of receptions, and surprisingly enough, he has the most receptions out of any Buffalo Bill in the history of the Buffalo Bills. He surpassed Eric Moulds. And of course, Josh Allen broke a couple of records that were originally held by Jim Kelly. So I was kind of proud of Buffalo when it came to Josh Allen and whatever now. And I think Buffalo scored like 3 or 4. I think it was 28 to. I think it was either 28 to 13 or 28-3. Or 28-6. I don't remember what the score was at halftime. But in the second half, they replaced Josh Allen with Matt Barkley. He was kind of rough at first, but then once he started throwing big-time passes, he did pretty well. He threw big-time passes, which connected quite a bit of times, and he threw a couple of touchdown passes. So he actually did pretty well. I thought he was, because at times his accuracy wasn't that great. And he did end up throwing an interception to Xavier Howard. So those were some of the highlights from the game. And of course there was another highlight. And there was a punt return for a touchdown. And that was the first time in quite a bit of time for the Buffalo Bills to get a touchdown from a punt return. And after they scored multiple touchdowns, Miami did not have a chance. And surprisingly enough, Miami did not do so well on defense. And Miami's defense was usually good, but not in this particular game. Their defense was kind of terrible. And they didn't really show any. There was no effort. There really wasn't. And at first, I will say at first it was. But then once Buffalo scored numerous touchdowns, the defense for Miami did not do so well. And that's the reason why Buffalo ended up scoring 56 points in the game. And that's over the course of the first and second half of the game. So it was quite impressive that Buffalo won so easily. Even when they brought out their, Buffalo took out their starters, and Buffalo had their backups playing. Buffalo did pretty well. And unfortunately for Tua, who was playing as quarterback for Miami, since Ryan Fitzpatrick couldn't be at the game because he had COVID, Tua did not do so good. Threw for 3 interceptions and only scored 1 touchdown. He did have over 300 yards. Unlike Josh Allen, which only had Josh Allen only had like 200 or so yards, but Josh Allen did a great job. He only had 1 interception and threw for 3 touchdowns. So Buffalo now has a second seed, even though they didn't really need to fight for the second seed, because what actually happened was Pittsburgh was kind of resting their starters too when it came, because Pittsburgh had a game against the Cleveland Browns, and there was this one particular drive in which Pittsburgh was threatening to at least tie the game, and unfortunately they needed a 2-point conversion, and they failed to do the 2-point conversion, and they had Mason Rudolph playing instead of Ben Roethlisberger, and Cleveland ended up winning before the Buffalo game was even over. So Buffalo ended up getting the second seed regardless of the result of their game. But Buffalo really kicked the shit out of Miami this particular game. Unlike the last game that Buffalo played when they faced Miami, that was more competitive. This wasn't even close. I know that Ryan Fitzpatrick was in the last game that Miami played Buffalo in, and it was in Miami. The final game in which Buffalo Bills played, it was at Buffalo. So Buffalo kind of had the advantage there. So once Buffalo beat Miami, Miami had to wait to see what would happen and see if they had a playoff chance. They needed either the Colts or Cleveland to lose, and unfortunately that didn't happen. And as a result of the Colts and the Browns winning, and because Buffalo won, the Dolphins were eliminated from the playoffs. So as a result, Buffalo will be playing the wild card game as the second seed, and they are facing the 7th seed. And the 7th seed they are facing, which of course the team won to get a playoff berth, and they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, which usually is an easy game because Jacksonville was terrible this year. And the team that Buffalo is facing is the Colts, because the Titans actually won their division, because the Titans needed to win that one particular game that they were playing. They were playing against the Texans, and the Titans-Texans game was probably the best game of Week 17. So as a result, Buffalo is playing the Colts, and I found out Buffalo is playing the first game of Wild Card Weekend on Saturday, and it's at 1 o'clock. So it'll be on January 9th, it'll be at 1 o'clock on Saturday, and they are playing the Colts. And of course it's at Buffalo because Buffalo won the AFC East, which I talked about. So hopefully things will Buffalo will keep pace and keep to what they were doing in the regular season, because Buffalo, when they beat Miami, it was their 6th straight win, and they also swept the AFC East. I think it's for the first time. For the first time ever that's ever happened, in which Buffalo beat every single team in the AFC East and went 6-0. And the only team that I think went 6-0 in the past was, of course, the New England Patriots. And Buffalo was never able to do that until this particular regular season. So hopefully Buffalo will do a great job, and hopefully they will beat the Colts. The problem with the Colts, in my opinion, I don't think they're as good. And plus they blew a big lead when they were facing the Steelers. And that was the result of why Buffalo had to play in Week 17 at least to get ready for the postseason, to try to get that 2nd seed, because Pittsburgh won in Week 16. And it almost happened with the Colts in Week 17, in which they almost lost the game to the Jacksonville Jaguars, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So Buffalo faces the Colts at Buffalo, and hopefully, and by the way, the good news is Buffalo is going to have fans at the stadium. So I couldn't go because I have my own life outside of YouTube, so that's the big reason why I couldn't purchase a ticket to go see the game. I would have loved to, but because of my life outside of YouTube, I couldn't do that. So I hope Buffalo wins, and I hope they keep pace. I hope they do like what they did when they accomplished their win streak and keep on winning games. And like I said, if Buffalo wins the Super Bowl, I said I was going to pound myself in the face. And I also predicted if Buffalo goes to the Super Bowl, they will face the Green Bay Packers. I do not know if that's going to happen, but that's my prediction. If Buffalo gets the Super Bowl, it'll be Buffalo against the Green Bay Packers. If Buffalo does not get to the Super Bowl, it'll probably be either KC or it could even be the Baltimore Ravens. You never know. And it'll probably be they'd probably be facing like the New Orleans Saints. It's probably going to be KC against New Orleans in the Super Bowl. And that's if Buffalo does not get to the Super Bowl. If Buffalo gets to the Super Bowl, I bet you that it will be Buffalo against the Green Bay Packers. And that is going to be my prediction on that. And that's if the Buffaloes get the Super Bowl. Now, like I said, if Buffalo wins the Super Bowl, I will pie myself in the face, because I'm still doubting that Buffalo will get to a Super Bowl and actually win one, because they've never done it. Even though they have had an impressive feat in which they've gotten to those Super Bowls, and that's a hard thing to do, because getting to 4 straight Super Bowls is pretty hard as it is, and it was never done before. Buffalo is so far the only team that has done that. So there you go. Hopefully, maybe some. I don't know if Buffalo is gonna win the Super Bowl this year. If they do, like I said, I'll pie myself in the face, but I'm doubting that Buffalo Bills is going to win the Super Bowl this year. But we will see. We will see. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. And Josh Allen did pretty well. He didn't get a 300 game, but he did pretty well and got 3 touchdowns and only 1 interception. So, Bills fans, it is time to face the Colts, and hopefully I will have a good result when the game is over. All right, everybody. Catch you next time. Yeah. And I decided to do Buffalo Bills videos on this channel, so that's it, because I'm a fan, of course. Alright, everybody, go Bills, like it says right here, and stay safe and stay awesome. Catch you next time, everybody, and I'll probably be doing one of these videos after the game between Buffalo and Indianapolis is over. Peace out, everybody.